pretty much after a 6-hour drive to get here to this park. Today is kind of my first day on a 10-day camping trip in 3 different national parks here in Quebec. I'm really looking forward to kind of get out, explore more of Quebec, more of my surrounding. So today I'm in Saguenay Fjord National Park. I can tell behind me I'm at a fjord, which is kind of a unique thing to come to because, you know, we don't usually have fjords in Quebec. I mean, unless you're in Norway. This is the closest it's gonna get to a Norway fjord for me. Definitely it kind of piqued my interest to come here, camp a couple of days and explore the scenery behind me and explore some of the trails and some of the different viewpoints. So to kind of kick things off today on my trip, it's my first day. Decided to come to the bay here, which is like Bay Eternité, and yeah, kind of set up for a take picture before sunset and see what if I can get a shot here to kind of kick things off. I'm excited. Just looking around, I really like this one bush here. I think it makes for a good foreground and with the water lapping very gently. Water's kind of choppy. I think I'm gonna go for a long exposure. I think that will make things look really, really nice. And there's some dynamic cloud in the sky. You probably can't tell from the video, but yeah, definitely they're got nice lighting across the fjord. Got nice cliffs on the other side. Definitely a lot to work with here for today. There's a bunch of places I could have set up to take a shot, but I think this piqued my interest to get set up today and take a picture, so I think that's what I'm gonna do right now. I might explore another like a 1.5 kilometer trail. You know, they said they might find some moose at the mouth of the river that flows into the bay here. So if I get lucky I might find some wildlife, but I'm gonna focus on this first, and depending how the light's going, I might be tempted to stick this out and not go somewhere else and take pictures, you know. Sometimes you might be overwhelmed when you come to a new place to want to do everything all at once. That's why I'm here for a couple of days, gonna give me a chance to properly explore it. And after that I'm headed to Gaspesie National Park, and from there to Forillon National Park. So I'm gonna get a bit of a seascape action, some mountains. I'm really, really excited for both, and we'll see what happens on this trip. Definitely, it's been a while since I've done a trip like this, so I'm excited to spend 10 days in nature. Yeah. Gonna look for landscape, wildlife, you name it, whatever I could find. So yeah, set up a quick shot here. Quite like it. I'm going for a 5-second exposure. So basically I'm doing a long exposure with the 6-stop ND filter, and I added the polarizer to kind of remove the glare off the wet sandy beach here. And yeah, sometimes just those 2 filters will make such a unique image because the water's kind of choppy, so I want to smooth it out a little bit, have it a bit more dreamy looking. Yeah. It's looking really nice, and I like to start off with like no filters at all when taking pictures, and then kind of build it up a little bit as I go along, like do a shot with the polarizer and see what that does, and then if I want to put an ND filter on, put that on. I kind of once I'm satisfied and I know I'm happy with the filters that I chose, that's when I take the final shot and I'm happy with. So taking a few shots before kind of moving in closer, because I don't want to kind of, if I wanted a wider shot I'm happy with, I might want to zoom in a little bit more, because what's happening right now is the tide is retreating. So initially the water was kind of covering this little greenery here, the shrubbery, but now it's actually further out. I might recompose my shot and move a bit closer to the water, and yeah, try to get more of an impactful foreground rather than a lot of beach, because I want to have a little bit of the beach but a lot of the water too. So I might recompose my shot and take another picture, but the light's still pretty good, and yeah, I'm gonna take a couple more. Composing one more picture here. It's definitely really nice to be back out taking pictures. I'm getting some really nice shots here. Conditions are really, really nice behind me. Yeah, the light's kind of nice, and it's a bit challenging getting closer because all the stuff here is like very chalky, and your feet sink in, so I'm having a hard time getting a bit closer to the water, but it's alright. I kind of zoomed in and framed a good shot here. A lot of the grass is here in the foreground. It makes for a really nice foreground to take pictures. So I really like this composition. Super nice for the first day to kick things off, to get a picture here. Super happy. I think like golden hour, the light's really nice. It's really fitting of the mood. I don't think it's gonna get any better. You're right off the beach. I'm in this deep valley here, so the light's gonna pretty much be blocked after a bit. There's a little bit of mosquitoes, but it's not too bad. It's manageable for in order to get some shots. Yeah. So I also added one more filter, which is a ND filter, grad ND, because I want to have the foreground a bit brighter and manage the sky a little bit. So definitely using 3 filters right now, which is a polarizer, a 6-stop ND, and a grad ND. So this is like the trifecta of filters, you know. But this is usually the most I ever use. Like, I don't like to use more than that. And the only reason I like to use filters, I mean, right now technology is getting so good that you can actually, you know, retrieve some of the shadows if you're shooting raw. But I like to see it in camera. I'm looking forward to exploring a little bit more on the coming days. I'm gonna do one hike up to one of the fjords here, and you can get a really nice view of the fjord, but from top, not from the shoreline. And that I'm looking forward to it, because the view is supposed to be really nice, and I'm sure pictures there around sunset, golden hour, probably look as nice as this, because it's probably the same view as the peak right here, but it shows more the drama of, you know, kind of the fjord, and you can see more of the fjord. This is a really long fjord. It's 100 kilometers long, so you're not gonna see all of it at any given time, but I think like some areas might be more dramatic, and sometimes seeing stuff from the bottom of the shore versus from up top, it really changes dramatic. So I might prefer this view versus being up higher, but I do want to do that hike and photograph it maybe for sunset, or maybe a little bit before sunset, because it's a 5 kilometer in, 5 kilometer out kind of hike. So I'm gonna see how it goes in terms of trying to catch it for sunset. And because now sunset's like so late, it's like 8:30 at night, so if you finish taking pictures by 9 p.m. you're gonna be back at camp at like maybe midnight, if it takes like 2 hours to get back, so maybe like 11:30, so around there. Yeah, so definitely something to think about. But if the conditions are good, I might be tempted to stick it out and photograph the most of it. I'm sure it'll be less buggy than being on the shore taking pictures. So right now I have about, let's say about maybe like a good hour before actual sunset. So it doesn't look like the light's gonna get any better, because I'm getting kind of in the shade. I lost the light on that peak right there, and yeah, it doesn't look as appealing in shadow as it is in the golden hour light. So I think I got the best shot at the best time. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of wander around the small trail that's near where I am. It's gonna go around the mouth of the river that feeds into this bay. There's a river that runs through the park. So I'm gonna see if maybe I can find some wildlife, because on their website they said you might find moose in the morning. Whew. Well, so far no moose and no peregrine falcon, because I know they said like some of these cliffs here by the water, there's a couple of nests for a falcon, but definitely don't see any activity. So yeah, would have loved to photograph either or. So I'm just exploring. Maybe I'll be surprised and I find something worthy of a picture. You know, I've been getting a bit into wildlife. So far, I didn't find any. But you never know. Maybe something will surprise me and have a nice finish for the day. But I doubt it. Crazy how the bay just emptied of water. So this is where the river kind of flows into the bay. And this is where I was taking the picture earlier, just over there on the beach. Kind of looped around to here. Yeah. Looks like the ducks are out on the water. All geese, I think. And it just emptied completely, and just to go to show how like conditions can alter the landscape. Definitely at low tide, having the river come in just there, kind of interesting. Definitely, like, once you observe these things, you realize like in minutes it could change. Like within 10 minutes the bay kind of emptied of most of its water. It really quite changed the composition. Like the composition I had there wouldn't have worked anymore. So I'm glad that I took the picture when I did. I was right to pack up when I did, because when the sunlight is not hitting the peaks across, it doesn't look as nice as it did during the golden hour. So yeah, I think you do pictures enough, you tend to know how the light's gonna behave, but sometimes they can surprise you, sometimes you're right. So no wildlife, but definitely interesting to be out exploring somewhere new, somewhere I'm not familiar with, and learning as I get along. So yeah, gonna head back to my car and yeah, get camp set up, get a fire going, enjoy my night, and try to see if I can make sunrise tomorrow.